It is literally a flu vaccine. I don't understand. What do you think a vaccination is?
Why are your the last night on Destiny is super anti-vax? The comments. Why?
Are they super anti-vax?
They are super anti-vax.
Are you sure?
Yes. What is
Last
going
night on
there?
Destiny YouTube.
The video I was checking out was the one that I put in our.
What was it called? What was the title?
Hold on. Asking Destiny if this person Vosh quoted is evil, because we were talking about.
Asking Destiny if the person Vosh quote
something.
tweeted is actually evil.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a retweet, but a quote tweet by Vosh debunking the original tweet. That seems like a pretty important difference. Title of the video certainly misled me. Wait, quote isn't even spelled correctly. August, what are you doing here?
Retweeted someone. He misspoke. No, he miswrote. Sorry.
Dan really thinks he's the smartest person in the room. Gotcha. Kind of shocked. Destiny pressed right click, open, close tab, instead of Control Shift T. Destiny didn't watch the part where the father talks about how he raised the shooters. Where are the anti-vax things?
Just keep going.
Oh, are you a scroller?
You don't like. I look at the amount of likes that things get, and there's actually like the comments are actually insane on this thing. Like it's just a lot of people that were going and saying like anti-vax shit.
Should the term vaccine really be used when it's not stopping the transmission to any serious degree of the virus? We encourage people to get a flu shot, but we don't call it a flu It is literally a flu vaccine. I don't understand. What do you think a vaccination is? Is this really the battlefields that we're dying on? Are the signs that we see at fucking CVS? Do you think it's called a shot? This is like the Lawrence Southern boat thing, where I actually had to change my whole language because when I said shoot flares at a boat, you guys actually thought she was shooting flares at wooden boats to try to set them on fire, or shooting flares in people's eyes. What? A shot is a vaccination. The whole point of a vaccination is you introduce some small thing to your immune system to train it, and then the next time the serious disease comes along, your immune system is better equipped to fight it. That's all a vaccine is. That's what a vaccination is.
Look, keep going, dude. Like people are going hard at me because I was so like pro-vaccination. Dan feels stupid because he got his vaccination. 51 upvotes on that, or whatever the YouTube thing is. Like that's insane.
That's true. Holy shit.
Like this is like it's like a huge amount of like anti-vax shit.
Why do people say this? I didn't get the jab and I was only sick from COVID for 1 day. Why do people say there are like epistemic flaws in the reasoning? Like you can have a stroke and be okay. You can have a heart attack and be okay. Like,
can you believe there are epistemic flaws in the YouTube comment section? I'm shocked.
No, it's just it's not that they're there. It's that people feel this way about things and they actually think they're worth typing and they think they're making a good point. Like, I got into a car accident once. I didn't even wear my seatbelt. I was fine. Why the fuck would I waste my time with that? Like, it's actually so almost self-evidently stupid. Like, it's almost obviously stupid. Like, there's no way you truly just said that you really said that.
They didn't just say it. They wrote it down.
And they thought it was a good point.
Everyone could see, of course.
And they get thumbs up for it.
And 62 people or something agreed with them. They're like based. Forget the anti-vax shit. I was under that combo that I had with like you, Dan, and Abba and Alicia when she said she's like going to be good faith, and I found an anti-Semitic comment that had a lot of upvotes. I took a screenshot. It said, Dan, I'm blackmailing this dude for a podcast studio. Also, Dan, Jews aren't nefarious, and it is insane to suggest such things. I hope Anna makes a podcast and it becomes bigger than anything Dan is a part of, and he becomes eternally ass mad. It had 22 likes.
Yeah.
Dan, did I ever tell you I worked for Facebook doing
moderation?
Yeah, Danny all the way down actually.
Dan should know. The messages that he sends through to Israel go through the Mossad and then right back to you. So
yeah, exactly.
True. There's so much fucking the anti-vax shit is actually like super
No,
Super
this is.
funny.
I understand that there's a lot of anti-vax shit. I'm very surprised that not only is it on Destiny's videos, but that it's like it's like the highest upvoted shit.
No,
That's what I
there's a
don't
reason
understand.
why, okay? And it's just, I just have to finish Factorio, okay? That's the reason why is because I've spent the past 6 months doing a good job at empathizing with people with different political opinions. So there are a lot of people that believe in things that I don't believe that feel safe in my community. But the problem is I haven't done a good job at representing. I understand that you believe this thing, but now I need to tell you why it's wrong, and I need to slowly move the dial on how crazy you are on some of the shit that you believe. But I haven't started that process as of yet, or I haven't integrated that process into my empathetic approach as much. The problem is that usually it requires like repeated conversations to do it. It's not all going to happen in one conversation, and the repeated conversation part has been ultra challenged recently because my biggest repeated projects got like killed like 2 conversations in because of crazy shit going on. So like the whole everything, all my conversation with Sneeko kind of got killed when he got banned from 52 different platforms, and it just moved him into a more and more and more extreme direction. All of my convos with Fuentes got killed because he refused to take any responsibility for his community nuking another one of my orbiters basically when they started spam reporting his shit. So like the few times that like the big like pushes I've made semi recently into other communities have been like stifled because of like insane shit going on in the background basically. Or I shouldn't say insane shit, but like dumb shit.
It's just weird to me that they would hang out and watch your videos. Like, okay, don't get me wrong, very entertaining guy, obviously, but still, like, it's not like a lot of chatters in here are watching shit. Well, I don't know. Maybe they are. Maybe they're fucking watching Ben Shapiro and shit all day. I've never have.
Isn't your YouTube audience relatively higher conservative count than chat audience?
Absolutely, for sure. But that's because a lot of these guys found me from other communities where I'm like the one nice left-leaning person, basically, is what I am to a lot of these people.
Yeah, but so it like kind of makes sense though that there are those people within those, because I've seen some relatively conservative threads get a lot of attention on YouTube.
Yeah. But the problem is that like I'm not Tim Pool, and I'm not any of these other guys that pretend to be a centrist and understand everybody, but actually I'm just a conservative through and through. And I think that's probably what most of these people are watching. Because generally when somebody says like, oh yeah, like I understand both sides, I'm empathetic towards both sides, that's bullshit. Usually they're just a full-on conservative. Usually they're farther right than the average American, right? Like Sargon of Akkad and Tim Pool are probably farther to the right than the average American is, but they market themselves as like centrists. So people probably come to my channel with a misconception that that's also, you know, what I am. Oh, Destiny's a centrist like Ruben or like Tim Pool, and it's like, no.
Do you think they're subs of yours, or do you think they're just commenters that found your video through like the algorithm or like click through on other bids?
You know, something that someone just said in chat, which I think actually maybe makes sense, is that these are all of like Sneekos and all these other people who their daddy is banned on YouTube. So like all they can do is comment on Destiny and shit.
Maybe a
that
little
might
bit,
be some of it.
But
But yeah, I was shocked to see that because I was like, oh wow, YouTube really does not like me. And I was like, oh no, wait a second, YouTube really hates vaccines, I guess, and anything liberal.
It really just depends on where it gets picked up and trafficked.
And Jews. And yeah.
Listen, we get it. You're persecuted. All right, get over it.
Damn.
What about Lex?
think
Lex does a slightly better job, but I think Lex is a little bit too soft on the right as well. Lex is not as bad as like Ruben or Rogan, or I don't know if Rogan is as bad anymore. Because Rogan's recent stuff seems like he pushes a little bit more. But I do think even Lex is a little bit too soft sometimes on some of the right-leaning narratives. But
And his mission's a little different than yours, right?
actually, I think our missions are at least the stated goal is fairly similar.
I seem the last few episodes I've been listening to.
At Destiny, you thought it was a flare gun, Dumbo. No, it's regardless of whether I thought it was a flare gun or a flare thing in the hand. When I said it was a flare gun, I still just meant she was shooting a flare like she was alerting another boat. I never, at a single point in all the history of my brain, did I ever think she was shooting flares at a boat. I never thought that. Even when I said, oh yeah, she shot a flare at a boat or whatever, in my head, you're like shooting a flare at something like to alert something and try to like scare it away. Because I'd seen, and you can go back in my stream like 5 years ago, we watched the videos on, there was videos that were put out by Patreon reason for banning Lauren Southern. Watch the video, coward. Bye.
Was that his comment or yours?
That was his comment. We watched the,
Hi, everyone.
we watched the full video on Patreon for his explanation for why they banned Lauren Southern, and at no point in this video did we ever see her like actually try to shoot a flare like physically directly at at a fucking boat. We never saw that. So I never thought this happened. And if it did happen, I figured he would have said it. But so this is my understanding the entire time. But I didn't know that when I said, oh, should have flared a boat, people apparently in my audience literally... Wait, people believe you meant she was shooting. Yes, stop, don't act like this is incredulous because everybody in my fucking subreddit was blowing me up over this. They were like, yeah, Destiny, of course, that's what everybody's gonna hear, that's what everybody thinks. Everybody's like, oh yeah, 99% of people thought that when you said that she was shooting a flare at a fucking boat. Like she was aiming the flare at the boat and trying to shoot it in the fucking eyes of immigrants. That's what everybody apparently in my fucking community said. But when I said, oh no, like shoot a flare at a boat, I'm thinking like, oh, like you shoot it in a direction so they like gets their attention. Like my imagination is like if I'm playing Rust or if I'm playing Sea of Thieves or whatever, or we're playing, it's like, oh shit, like shoot a flare at them so they see where we're at. I wouldn't mean point the flare at the fucking boat and shoot it. That was in my brain. That's what I thought, right? Jesus Christ. Okay. Sorry, I cut somebody off. Go ahead.
I have no idea who was talking, but
I can't remember.
do you still think that Patreon video was like a really good example for like why a platform would like ban someone? I think it's still really good. It holds up really well.
Well, that was... Oh, I thought the Patreon video was really well done. But no company will ever do shit like that because nobody's the balls to actually announce their fucking bans. But...
I have a question about Sneeko, and I can't talk about Mr. Girl, right?
Talk about whatever you want to talk about, dude. This is your calling. You're the one that's paying the big bucks to be here. So, God damn it,
awesome.
whatever you want to talk about, okay?
Okay, I've watched way more content with Sneeko than Max and all the other guys, but isn't it super fucking annoying when people just react to shit and get triggered to shit before you finish a point and doesn't just interrupt you?
Yeah, that does sound like something that'd be pretty annoying, yeah?
Then why the f do you keep talking to those people?
I'm trying to get better at handling them now. After the Mr. Girl lav arc.
Okay, so what, you won't talk to Sneeko anymore?
Well, I just won't let him interrupt me as much. But Sneako's not as bad as others, but...
He isn't really? Okay. I don't know, like I said, I didn't really watch much content.
Okay.
Other than Sneeko who did that shit. Okay. Oh yeah, you said something on the Fresh and Fit thing about harems, right? How when people got richer, men got richer, they didn't do harems. So the whole point about men inherently wanting to fuck a lot of women doesn't make sense.
Okay.
Something like that.
Gotcha.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, well enough. What about it?
Okay. I think that's partially true, but only in the West because of Christianity, right? Like, because a lot of cultures had a lot of, like, famous harems and shit.
Okay, I didn't listen to the first thing what you said. Hold on. You guys need to use more voice inflection, okay? When you talk, you gotta make everything sound like this. Okay, inflect your voice, okay? Kimmy, rope me in, okay? Are you ASL? What's your first language?
What the f is ESL?
Where's your accent? Where are you from?
I'm from Austria.
Oh, yeah, okay. So what's your first language? Is Austrian a language, or do you speak German there, or what?
German.
Okay,
German.
Gotcha. All right. Okay. You get a pass. Okay. You're talking about harems, Christianity.
Yeah.
Go. What was
you said some shit about rich guys don't do harems, so...
Correct. Yes, in general, like people don't have harems generally, yeah. Except there were like in some societies with like feudal lords and shit, or in some societies that were like with kings and stuff. Sometimes you'd have like a protected like aristocracy that would have some, but like women aren't choosing to be there. They're just kind of like held captive there because they're patriarchal societies and those people have a lot of money.
Yeah, that's totally true. But I feel like in Europe, it's more true because you don't really have kings. Even kings in Europe didn't have harems, and I feel that's because of Christianity, right? Because it wasn't socially acceptable even for kings to have harems.
Oh, maybe. I mean, I'm sure they had like concubines and shit, and women they or whatever, right? But
it was kind of secret, though.
Yeah, sure, okay.
Mostly, But like you have like in China and stuff, it was like the harem of the emperor was a literal institution.
Sure.
Right?
Okay.
I agree with you that it was forced upon the woman, right? They didn't choose it. I'm just saying, it's not, all black and white. Okay, even rich people don't want to fuck a lot of women. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I mean, okay. I'm sure any guy wants to fuck a lot of women, given the opportunity to. Sure, of course, yeah, sure. But I'm just saying that I think it's a fantasy to pretend that like any woman would prefer that environment, unless it's like a really poor woman who's getting with a really rich guy, somebody that's like batting way outside of their league, basically.
Sure.
But that works in both directions, I think.
Yeah, Yeah, unless it's some weird kink. I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, because like
Okay.
like people say that like, oh no, like one woman would be shared by, or multiple women would be okay being shared by one guy. That's only if the women are batting way above where they should be. But also, multiple guys would share one woman if they were also batting way above where they should be, right? Like if fucking some hot like fucking
Yeah.
female celeb went into a computer lab and said like, I'll date all 5 of you guys, but you have to tolerate me. Like all of them would be like, yeah, of course, sure, right? They would go for it. It just depends on like,
Yeah, I totally
people
agree.
will take what they can get
Yeah.
in that sense, yeah.
Okay. I agree.
All right. Well, thanks for stopping by.
Okay,
And,
thanks then.
Yeah. All right. Take
All
care.
right, see ya.
Look how soft, cuddly, your very own, adorable. It's squishable. It goes back to its original shape. It's got a heart. Wow. Beautiful.